We're joined by Luke Cox, CEO of Green Technology Metals. Luke, thanks for your time.
Yeah, thanks for having me on the board.
Listed barely a year, probably right on a year to be honest. You've achieved so much. What have been some of the highlights?
Yes, I mean, it literally is 12 months to the day. So I've got my anniversary now as a CEO for a year. Since listing, we raised that 24 million. Literally a week after listing, we started drilling out at Seymour. We got our permits in straight away with the government and the Indigenous groups where we work. From there, we had great success with the drilling, and then from there, we actually built a camp out at Seymour, a 30-man camp. So that means you can drill all the way through winter. So that took us through into the new year. We liked what we saw in the drill results, so we actually ramped up our stake to 80% in the joint venture with Arden. And during that course, the drill rigs kept on going. We had 2 rigs there. What we did, we said, okay, we've got this other project which is called Root. Let's start on the permitting process for that whilst we keep Seymour going. So we've got the permits in place. We've now got 2 drill rigs at Root, and we also built another 30-man camp. So that means the drill rigs will go all the way through winter. They won't stop. So that's something pretty much not unheard of, but I guess what we're saying is that we need to get the drill results coming in. We need the assay results, and we need to build the resource up. Now, what we're trying to do here, we need to get into production as soon as possible. So to do that, we went to the mines department. We've released our project description. So that's essentially saying to them, we want a permit to mine. And they said, well, if you want to mine, you need to keep the production below 1.5 million tonnes per annum. If you go above that point, you go into a federal approval, and then you add a couple of years on. We say, well, let's keep below that. So what we're looking to do is get Seymour into production as soon as possible. We'll create a spodumene concentrate. Now everyone talks about an SC6. That's sort of not the norm anymore. Where people are selling concentrates at all sorts of levels now, but around a 5 to a 5.5 concentrate. We'll get that into the market as soon as possible, but also now we're looking downstream to go into a hydroxide facility. Now with that, we're not going to do that alone, so we're looking at partnering. We're not looking at non-binding offtake agreements. What we're looking for is an agreement, a JV partner that will come in. Generally a business that's already done that, so we're talking to the likes of POSCO, LGs. They're the people that have already done it, they've been there, they know the business. So they'll come into Ontario, and that's how we build the lithium supply chain right there in Canada. So I guess we've come a long way, and during that journey, we've actually had a few people join us. So one of them is Lithium Americas Corp. They're one of the biggest lithium players in North America. And really they joined us in a collaboration agreement. They took quite a substantial equity position because they've got the brines down south. They've got Thacker Pass, which is a big clay deposit in the United States, and they wanted to break into this hard rock spodumene market, and they wanted a partner to do that. So they looked around, and there was a partnering process, and we came out on top. So now, yeah, we've got Lithium Americas Corp on basically within our group now. So it's quite funny, people say to me, oh, who's GT1? You go, well, on the forward facing with the client, you say, well, GT1's me. Pull back the second page, and then you see Primero. Well, Primero, they build lithium processing plants around the world. Then you got AMCI, they own 10% of us. Now they fund projects all the way through exploration and into production, so that's nothing new to them. All right, and then you got Lithium Americas Corp, so we've got this massive team sitting behind GT1, driving us into production. And something that's recently, like literally I've just got back from Canada, but when I landed in Thunder Bay in Ontario, I get the phone call, Luke, you'll be meeting the mines minister. And I was like, oh, here we go. What have I done wrong here? And then we sat down for breakfast, and pretty much he said, his remit is to really build a lithium supply chain in Canada, Ontario. And to do that, obviously there needs to be people that have done this before. And we've gone through your website, we've gone through who you are, and also your backers, and we believe you're potentially the first person that's going to be delivering into the market. And they said, well, what do you need from us? I said, well, I need a permit. They said, okay, well, let's start talking about permits. I said, okay, potential funding. So this Friday, we're catching up with the various government funding bodies to talk about what it will take to fund a hydroxide facility in Thunder Bay. So yes, there's a lot of action going on.
And in terms of Ontario itself, for people who don't know, it does have a strong mining history and a mining skill set. So is that something you're tapping into in Thunder Bay and the wider Ontario area?
Yeah, absolutely. So when you look at Canada, sort of Ontario's sort of in the middle. But in Ontario with Sudbury, so Sudbury is a massive nickel mine. And so they've got over 100 years of experience in the mining game, if you like. So they've developed the mines department. So the mines department and all the regulatory bodies that approve mines have been through this process for many years now. So everything's set up. So it's not as if we're going into a country where we're trying to find our way. There's a process. And to go through that process, you need a good team. So what we did, we actually built an approvals and permitting team over there in Thunder Bay. And that team has literally taken the last 8 mines into operation. So they're working, they work for GT1, and we're now kicking, I guess, the various permits into place to get us into production as soon as possible.
Production focused, world-class asset, amazing partners and a great jurisdiction. As you say, well funded as well. Luke, exciting times ahead for the company and shareholders. A company to watch. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, thank you.